In this video, we're going to be talking about the roller coaster that interest rates have been on so far this year and how they're affecting the North Jersey market and where they might be going for the remainder of the year so that you can beat out the competition. Now let's hop into it. I'm Robert Webb with the DNJ Home Selling Team. We are here to help you navigate all things real estate. So make sure you subscribe for more, and now let's jump into it. The first thing to note is that interest rates have been so much more volatile than they have been in the past couple of years. This is largely due to the Fed decreasing their purchase of mortgage-backed securities and also the raising of the federal funds rate. If you aren't familiar with mortgage-backed securities, I'm going to leave a link down below where you can go to learn more, and we can cover them in a future video if it's something you guys want. So while housing isn't directly tied to what the federal funds rate is doing or mortgage-backed rates specifically, they can be heavily correlated at times. This has led to a lot of uncertainty in markets across the US, and it has definitely had an increased effect on the real estate market since banks and lenders have to adjust for the increased risk that they're taking anytime they make a loan. However, it's not all doom and gloom as some of the nationwide headlines might leave you to believe. Real estate is extremely local and different markets are going to react in different ways. So where have rates gone this year? Well, coming into 2022, we saw rates hovering right around 3%, depending on your situation, your credit score, and what you were gonna buy. And that's where a mortgage broker really comes in to tell you about your individual situation and guide you accordingly. Because as mortgage rates change, so does your individual circumstance and financial picture. If you have interest in talking with our preferred lender here at the DNJ Home Selling Team, I'm gonna leave a link to them down below. And if you wanna learn more and check them out, you can click through and speak with them and they can guide you on your specific circumstance. But where we've seen rates go so far this year is starting at 3% and very quickly moving to 5% and finally surpassing 6% at their height. And that could affect you and your house hunting quite a bit. But where we've seen rates go so far this year is starting out at 3% and very quickly rising to 5% and finally surpassing 6% at their height so far this year. And that's going to affect you and your house hunting quite a bit. The next thing to understand is what does a 1% change in interest rates really do and how does it impact you? As a general rule of thumb, a 1% change in interest rates affects your purchasing power by around 10%. Let's assume you were pre-approved by your preferred mortgage broker for a $500,000 loan a month ago, and now rates have gone from, let's say, 5% to 6%. Well, if you were to lock in that rate today at 6%, you don't have to pay more interest every single month with that new interest rate, and that is going to impact your purchasing power. That's going to take you from being able to afford a home for $500,000, but since you have to pay more towards interest, you can now only afford a $450,000 home. And inversely, if mortgage rates are going to drop from 6% to 5%, your purchasing power now goes up from $450,000 all the way up to $500,000. And that's why watching rates and staying informed can be critical to moving into your dream home. So if you are thinking about buying a home and you need to keep your finger on the pulse of where interest rates are and where they are moving, and if you are actively submitting offers, well, then you need to keep a very sharp eye out for them, since when you actually lock in your interest rate, it's going to make a very big difference in your monthly spending, which leads us to how to capitalize on staying informed on this information. And that's because staying informed can keep you ahead of the curve. As an example, in the past few weeks, we have actually seen mortgage rates pull back a bit from their highs, in some cases up to almost 0.5%. By surrounding yourself with a knowledgeable real estate agent and a solid mortgage broker, you can take advantage of this by acting before other buyers figure out this is the case. If another buyer thinks rates are at 6.25%, but really that day they're at 5.75%, well, you have a huge advantage when it comes to crafting your offer. Some lenders even have programs where you can lock an interest rate for a fee for a certain period of time if you know you're going to be making aggressive offers in the future, and actually then shop and get that home under contract while keeping that rate. And that's super important because you're working with a particular rate and everyone else is out there floating with whatever is going on that day, unsure of what decision they're going to make. If you aren't interested in asking your mortgage broker where rates are every single day, I understand. As a mortgage broker, I probably wouldn't want to necessarily answer that question every single day. So I want to give you a resource that I use. It's called Optimal Blue. I have it right up here on the screen, and this can show you where rates are, where they've come from, kind of where they're trending, and it can give you a day-to-day picture of what's going on in rates. Now understand that everyone's situation is different, and at the end of the day, if you're gonna actively be making offers, you need to be speaking with your real estate agent and your mortgage broker to make sure that the current rate is gonna fit your situation. This is just to give you an idea of where rates are trending. And finally, I wanted to touch on where I think interest rates will be going for the remainder of the year. Again, while the Fed's actions don't directly influence where interest rates go, they do impact the economy as a whole, and that can potentially work its way into your mortgage rate. And with inflation numbers just being reported even higher, the Fed is going to keep doing more of the same to try and curb inflation as fast as possible. And they have very clearly stated that they plan to continue to raise the federal funds rate to combat that inflation, so expect that to work its way through the economy and into your mortgage rate. And secondly, the Fed is also reducing the amount of mortgage-backed securities they plan on holding, which means that there is less liquidity in that market, and that's going to continue to put upward pressure on mortgage rates. When I look at these two things and where inflation has been over the past few months, and couple that with the future vision the Fed has put out there, I see interest rates continuing to climb over the next couple of months and probably even into the new year. I don't think they will go significantly higher as we end out 2022, and there may even be some volatility that you can take advantage of as lenders compete for your business in a volatile market. But I think rates are going to stay in the high 5s to mid 6s, and that's going to kind of be the case for the rest of the year. One of the videos I plan to do in the near future is talking about where we are with the supply of homes and how that impacts the North New Jersey market. But here is a snippet. As mortgage rates rise to 6% or higher, a lot of people that have bought or refinanced over the past couple of years have locked in interest rates between 2.5% and 4%. And it is going to be tough to get those people to say, hey, I'm going to move and I'm going to be okay getting a 6 or 7% interest rate, which is going to make them think twice about selling, and that will continue to limit the momentum of the housing market supply. I will be very interested to see what happens throughout the rest of the year, but I promise to keep you updated along the way. If that is something you want to see, make sure you subscribe to keep up to date and like this video as it helps my channel tremendously. And finally, if you want to get started working with me and my team here in Northern and Central New Jersey, we would love to get to know what you're looking to do, where you're planning on moving, what you're planning on buying. I'm going to invite you to click the link down below, destinationnj.com/get started. And we want to learn all about your situation, and we look forward to helping you. See you in the next one.